It's all practical. There's no CGI. There's no green screen. It's the way I like making movies.
There's some sick chases throughout London. I know you shot some in Glasgow. Talk to me about that, because I don't know how much you were behind the wheel, how much you helped make that happen.
You know what? When I first started out my career, when I made Transporter 1, I can remember I did like 99% of the driving. There was so much on my plate. The bigger and more expensive the movie gets, the more at risk you are to the studio to turn up the next day. So they go, maybe you don't want to drive down this street. Well, why? Was this a street? They have a little bit more of a paranoia about what they want you to do. So, you know, the hand-to-hand fighting and the car chasing, you know, we have to really push.
It's crazy. Like, logistically, to get a good piece of action, you got to lock off 10 blocks of a city. We actually went to Glasgow, and it sort of doubles for London for the majority of that sequence. You want to do as much in camera as possible. And granted, the fast movies always have this great combination of practical stunts and visual effects to take it to the next level. And we tried to do the same. That chase is very analog, though. There's some just really shit-hot driving and badass guys on motorcycles and cars.
The good thing about me and Dave Leitch, is we've known each other a long, long time. He knows that I've done many, many car movies, and he knows that he can push me at the wheel of a car. And, you know, I'm very proficient in that area. I've done way more hours of stunt driving than just some regular actor that's coming to, you know, to try and be the character of Shaw.
So you guys push back a little bit, say, no, you can handle some of that driving?
We have to do it without telling anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The studio thinks I'm, you know, having a day off, and we're shooting stuff in the car.
You know, you have three huge megastars and great fighters right here. We got Idris Elba, Jason Statham, and Dwayne Johnson. As a stunt guy yourself and a fight guy yourself, how do you mix their styles together?
First, you want to define their styles, you know, and obviously the classic Jason is the scalpel and Dwayne is the hammer. That's easy. Idris, he's got to be bigger than both of those combined, so that's why we gave him this augmented power. Making him formidable to those two powerhouses was the key.
I got him.
No, I got him.
I got him.
I got him.
The training we do is very generic in terms of you just have to be good at everything. You have to get in a car, you have to be proficient behind the wheel, and you have to know how to fight. We are pretty much proficient in all the stunt areas as we can be.
I think the fight work was really more complicated than I thought it would be. I've done fight work before, but working with David Leitch, since he comes from a sort of stunt background, I was a stuntman because I was doing it over and over again. It was great.
It was like really intense, like martial arts stuff and loads of things I've never attempted before, like even a forward roll was really hard for me at the beginning, like truly quite scary.
The action stuff, we always design it to match whatever the character challenge is. What's the hurdle that the guys have to, you know, kind of grow from? And yeah, we always think of like big sequences that are the most ridiculous ways to kind of solve it.
You have to have both Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson get their asses kicked on film. Were they up for that, and was it hard to make
They were
that?
totally up for it. I think that they are professionals, number one, but they're also great storytellers. And what's the best way to tell the hero story? You got to break your heroes down to build them back up. You want to see your heroes rise and overcome something that's more powerful than them. And they were both on board. And when it was Idris got cast in it, they're like, I'll take a beat down from Idris, man.
I'm Black Superman.
Most of the characters that I play just dispatch everybody, and I think I wasn't used to, you know, being sort of dragged around the ground and hit across the floor, and I had to sort of get used to that. It was a strange feeling.
Was it satisfying to beat the crap out of both Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson at once?
A little bit satisfying, a little bit. The fact that, you know, there's one particular punch where, you know, he comes down to me, and it didn't make the cut in the film, but he says to me, you know what, son, I'm gonna take you to school. And I go, nah, and I boom, hit him, and he hits the thing. Dwayne said that, he goes, nobody's ever done that to me in a movie, nobody. I was like, well, I'm the first. Bang! Woo!
What's the best way to take a punch? How do you sell it?
You over-exaggerate it. you know, and it's the timing of it as it hits. You breathe out, and you know you have to have a loose neck. It's a technique, you know. You have to be in control of your body.
Here's the thing: if you're a character that can take a punch, then you got to take it because they're strong lads, but you got to look like it doesn't affect you. If you're a guy that you can't take on a Dwayne or Jason, which is most of us, you're gonna have to really like sell it, like you know.
Right. Yeah.
I just did it for you. It's like, oh.
He really is Black Superman.
I'm not used to getting hit. I think I've been hit more times in this movie than in my whole career.
Hobbs and Shaw are very different characters, but say we put them in a a street fight, who do you think comes out on top?
Between the two?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they knock each other out.
I can't answer that because I'd be diplomatic. I'd say I'd be wary of Idris getting on the scene. That's what I would say.
Remember me?
No disrespect to Jason, but you know, Dwayne's a big lad. My money's on him.
Shaw wins every time. He's just too smart for that guy.
1, 2, 3.
The thing about Shaw is that he's a precision guy, and we all know what precision and speed does. If you're hitting the right place, you can be twice the size of Dwayne. A kick to the nuts is a kick to the nuts. It doesn't, you know, you don't get protective muscles around the ball sack.
Great.
Shaw is the character that thinks, you know, physical strength and muscle is almost a hindrance. It slows you down, and it doesn't have any practical use outside of the world of technique and accuracy. And, you know, Bruce Lee proves that speed equals power, and if you hit someone in the right place, bam, the lights go out. So Shaw builds his life on that confidence, and Dwayne, playing this Hobbs character, just thinks, who's this little bald-headed guy who thinks he can take me on? I'll just pull his arms off, and I'll hit him on the head, and I'll use him as a floor mop. He just believes that this physicality will give him the upside. That is the great sort of polar opposites that we lean into.
You think I'm stupid? Of course I think you're stupid. But you know what? I'll do you a favor. I'll knock that dumb right out of your skull. You just say the word, Jack.
A lot of great insults in this movie as well. You know, Hobbs and Shaw go at it pretty well. And, you know, Jason Statham and Dwayne Johnson, pretty good comedians as well.
Hilarious.
I want to talk about writing some of those lines. What were your favorites that you wrote and the ones that they came up with?
Oh my gosh. You know, it's so funny because it will blend. Normally what'll happen again is I will do a blueprint. Like, we'll discuss as a team, all of us, okay, here's what the story's gonna be, here's an outline, this is what we're thinking. I'll do a script. We'll all share it, but then Dwayne will come in and say, I thought of something last night that's so good. We're gonna hit him with this line and not even tell him what it is. And so when they're doing it, they're reacting for the first time hearing those lines. So it's very funny. They do an amazing job of, normally 2 seconds after they're glowering at each other and you call cut, like they're laughing, they crack up. Like, it's hard. Like, their job is to make the other guy break, and they go for it every single time.
I don't look. It's a little tight.
It's an easy target. I've got so much ammunition for him. So what we tend to do is sort of just understand what we're trying to say. I don't want to work with you. You don't want to work with me.
No way. This guy's a real ass.
We have to just address those points in a very insulting way. And it becomes quite easy, you know?
What's your favorite one that you came up with?
Stop blubbering. You sound like a giant tattooed baby. I guess that's quite funny.
I just dreamt they killed you before I woke up. Pretty disappointed right now.
I love it, Dwayne. Yeah, it's going to be good.